Yeah, right there. Is it Darrell here?
It is, yeah. How are you?
Not bad.
Just confirm your address for me, please. Right, okay, and your date of birth. So, job search then, how are we getting on?
Yeah. Alright.
Appointment arranged, didn't you, on the 1st of January, is that right?
What was
The manager?
an appointment?
Yeah, you didn't come in?
No, didn't realise there was an appointment. I asked to speak to one. She says I was told that she'd be available 10:30 the next day, but there was no.
Yeah.
There was no.
Alright, okay.
You know.
No, there was no, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
But she'd put down that you were going to come in and see her on the.
Well, I was told she'd be available, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember the next day, we were snowed in, weren't we?
Yeah, it had snowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was up Eldwick at the time, so I weren't coming down that day.
Right, okay. So, what have you been doing on your job search then?
Bear with me, I'll get to you in a sec. Is Michelle available this morning?
No, she's not.
Is she in today?
I haven't seen her yet. Why, do you still want to see her?
Oh yeah, I've got to see her, yeah. Right, just keep that in order for me, because I've become familiar with it in that order. Please, thank you.
Is this what you've done in the last 2 weeks, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, okay. You getting any responses from any of these then, or?
No, not really. I get calls now and again, but they end quite quickly when they get to my availability. Well, I've got children at weekends, so if they ask me if I can do Saturdays and I say no, it discourages them from considering me for employment.
You're applying for shop managers?
Well, duty, not store managers. It's out of my skill set and I don't meet the availability for that.
What do you mean duty?
A supervisor, a duty manager would be responsible for a shift, not running the stores. A huge significant difference between a duty manager, a deputy manager and a store manager.
Right, but the availability would still be required on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why are you applying for jobs that need you to be available on a Saturday?
I don't understand what's available for Saturday.
Well, the jobs that you're applying for require Saturday cover, so why are you applying for them if you're not available?
Well, some of them don't, but that doesn't mean that occasionally I get sick of not applying for them and maybe go on and apply for them, and even though they've requested Saturdays, maybe I could talk them round. You got to try, haven't you? Nothing wrong with trying, is there? Well, is there something wrong with applying for work just because they request a Saturday on it?
If you're saying you can't do it.
Right, so what's your point? What are you asking me?
I'm asking you why you put a lot of effort into jobs that require you to work a Saturday when you can't work a Saturday.
I'm not just applying for jobs that are requesting for Saturdays, am I?
Well, looking at these, retail merchandiser, store manager, retail sales assistant, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, retail sales 8, 9. I mean, that's just on a couple of pages.
So what's your point?
What my point is, you're not available for those jobs.
That doesn't mean I can't apply for them.
Yeah, but you've got to be available for jobs that you apply for.
Yeah.
You're signing on to say that you're available for work and you're actively seeking work.
Yeah.
What you're doing here is you're actively seeking work, but you're not making yourself available for all the jobs that you're applying for.
I don't understand what you mean. How am I not making myself available?
Because you're not available on a Saturday. You've just told me, you're telling them that you're not available on a Saturday.
Yeah. So if they phone me up and say, can you work Saturdays?
Yeah.
Even if it's a job that never mentioned it in the description.
Come on, read between the lines.
No, you read between the lines. If you've got a point to make it. Otherwise,
I'm making it.
Forget it.
You're just not getting it.
Right, well maybe you're not explaining it well enough for me then.
You're applying for jobs that on the whole, it may not say it in the advert,
on the whole what?
On the whole, require you to work on a Saturday or even a Sunday.
That doesn't mean I can't apply for them.
But you're not making yourself available for them.
But
you have to be available for work and actively seeking
work.
There is a doubt as
right.
to your
Hold your tongue a minute, right? So if someone phones me up and says you've applied for this job and it will require you a certain amount of Saturdays, and I say I respect that. Unfortunately I can't work Saturdays, but I still applied for the job because I feel that I like the job, I can consider the job and I would like to go for it. I hope that's not a problem. I'm not available for Saturdays, but that didn't want to stop me from being enthusiastic and determined to try and still get a job, and now you're going to hold that against me. Is that what you're saying?
I am, yeah.
Right. That didn't want to stop me from being enthusiastic and determined to try and still get a job, and now you're going to hold that against me. Is that what you're saying?
I am, yeah.
Right, okay, well you make your claim on paper, I'll respond on paper. What's your next subject of topic?
I'm just challenging you on your availability.
Right, well you've challenged, I've answered. Make whatever conclusions you want from that and then we'll move on to the next point. If you've got a claim, make it on paper. You've asked me a question, I've answered you, and I don't feel I want to be interrogated on this anymore.
Right, just send that.
You're a work coach, not an advisor. You're not a mental health physician. You're not a doctor.
Listen to me. I have a responsibility to ensure that you meet the conditions
right.
that you
and it's a fair enough question, but in the tone that you're using, it feels like an interrogation. Now you asked a question and I give you a very reasonable, articulable response, and this does feel like an interrogation. Now if you've got a point, make it, that's fine, that's your job.
I've made the point.
But if you make a statement and I respond with reasonable, articulable reasons, and then you still don't have a point to make after, there's no point in going on about this subject anymore. If you've got a claim to make, put it on paper, I'll respond on paper. It'll be written form.
Okay, we'll see where we go.
Right,
okay?
We'll see where we go.
So, finished.
We're finished?
Yeah.
Have you put my payment through on the system?
I will do.
Right. Is there any other claims or suspicions that you'd like to raise with me today before I leave, Darrell?
You've really got an issue, haven't you? You've really got an issue, haven't you?
I think you've got an issue.
You've really got an issue.
I think most of the staff in here, you're not all bad, you're inherently good human beings, but you need to stop focusing on procedures to try and sanction and get a little bit more support through the...
to make sure that you're available and actively seeking work, and that's what I'm doing.
And you're not carrying that responsibility as being conducted in a form that leads me to believe in being interrogated. Because you've asked a reasonable enough question and I answered, but the tone in which you are using against me leads me to believe that you're interrogating me.
Your answer is not a reasonable answer.
Right, well, before I leave, do you have any claims or suspicions you'd like to raise with me before I leave today?
Just go.
Just go.
Just go. Yeah? I've had enough of you. Just go.
Just
Go.
Yeah?
I've had enough of you.
You've had enough of me?
Yeah. That's it, write it down.
It's getting more than written down, it's recorded, mate. I'm sick of you guys. I'm not having it from you anymore. A bit of respect I shouldn't have to ask for it, should I? It should be given automatically. You need to stop focusing on your response for your procedures on sanctions. Because when I leave here,
I asked you a standard question.
And I answered it.
Jobs, you're not getting any responses. But you don't want responses.
I do get responses.
You've told me that you can't do the job because you're not available on a Saturday. Which raises a question about your availability.
Will you get that on paper and make your claim? If you've got an accusation to make it, but don't sit there and interrogate me like I'm not doing my job search. I bet you any money, my job search here, in quantity and quality, amounts to most of the people that they've got down there combined. I challenge you now to go down there and take my work job search and compare it to what they've got there. And I bet mine knocks them down dead with the quality and quantity of the effort here. Quantity of the effort here. Quantity of the effort here.
Yeah, but if you're not available, what's the point? Have you finished? I finished, yeah. Okay.
Is Michelle available just now?
No, she's not. I can book you in if you like. Book an appointment.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you could book me an appointment, please.
Yeah. Right, so how's your job search gone these last couple of weeks then?
Right. I've worked up this for you. This gives a brief sort of rundown of what I've been up to the last 2 weeks. I wanted to ask if it'd be alright if you wouldn't mind photocopying that and just adding it to my file with my claimant commitment.
This is like an agreement.
Yeah, think of it like a statutory declaration. That's the best way to think about it. A statutory declaration is a statement of the facts. So, for example, there's many ways you can use a stat dec. Say, for example, I was talking to the police about an incident. They were asking me questions. I'd say, "Hold your horses. Has a complaint been brought against me? Is there an emergency?" This is just one example. It can be used in many different forms, offices, things like that. And I would say, "Look, I don't know what you're talking about. However, here are the facts." There you go. That would be considered a stat dec.
What do you expect from this though?
Well, it doesn't really matter, but it's something that needs to be done. So, what I'd like to ask as well, I'll go through this first.
I don't know what you're expecting from this.
Well, I know you don't, but it doesn't really matter. You will understand. I got a call yesterday.
Yeah.
16th of the 2nd, 2015, for a job interview on Wednesday, this Wednesday,
Yeah.
at 12:30 at the range. I've wrote the details down. However, I wanted to ask, would it be possible to get a shirt, trousers and shoes for the interview? Is that something that you'd be arranged?
Proof of your interview?
Well, I've wrote the details down. She hasn't sent me an official letter or anything. She's basically phoned me up and says, could you come down for an interview on Wednesday?
Right, I need proof of the interview.
Right. I won't be able to bring the proof of that until the actual after the interview. I'll have a word with my Avanta. I'm still with EOS, which is now Avanta.
Yeah.
I'll have a word with my key worker there. She might be able to help with funding for that. If I can't, I'll just have to make do with what I've got. So, but I've got the interview and I intend to go to it.
And where's that then? Is that
The Range.
Is that in Bradford or?
Yeah. It's called The Range. It's just round corner from Ingleby Road, you know, the Victoria shopping centre.
Yeah.
They phoned me up yesterday, the lady phoned me up. I do have a contact number for the lady. I wrote it down.
Right, okay.
And I do have the address of where it is I'm going on Wednesday. Would that count as proof?
I can ring her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Is it a landline?
It's a mobile.
I can't ring a mobile.
Right. Alright.
I don't know
It could be anybody.
I don't know who it is.
Certain, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Did they not send you an email?
No, she's just phoned me up. She just phoned me up and says, would you mind coming for an interview? I said, yeah, no problem.
Right. Okay.
And it was a job that I applied for out at the Universal Job Match. So it is somewhere in my notes here.
Okay. Yeah. No, I can't ring a mobile.
Right, that's alright. I've had contact with Shipley again. It's confirmed that I will be able to go back in April just to get a few extra credits to take my ABC award, Gardening and Horticulture.
Right, okay.
And I'm looking to push that to level 1. I only need 5 more credits.
Right.
I got the first certificate, did a few more credits, but it was a 1-day week where they don't charge. So they basically just slot you into one of their little courses and just out of that, just get you a few little credits that you need to top it up. Once I get that, I feel it'll push forward so I can go from sort of retail. That's why I asked for the course in the first place. I want to go into the gardening and horticulture scene. So I'm hoping to continue with that in April, and I will be starting voluntary work at the, I think it's called the Friday Works. I need to confirm the details of that, but that'll be on Fridays. So that's basically.
When do you hope to start that then?
Probably next Friday. I'm hoping to get the next Friday.
Right.
I'm hoping to get the details for that starting next Friday. So that's a bit of extra voluntary work.
Okay, I'll need to get you to fill a form in about that then. Yeah.
It's a Vol 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask for a Vol 1 off you this morning, and
Right. Okay.
when I've got confirmed the other details for it, I can then continue to fill it in and I'll bring it back. So,
And what other jobs have you applied for then?
and my actual contemporaneous notes are all there's this as well. I've been looking at other options outside of my claimant agreement. I'll give you that just to take a copy as well. That needs to be included in my file.
What's this about the universities then? Colleges?
Well, it keeps my key worker and well the whole office keeps trying to push me into looking at law and journalism courses.
Right.
They've seen a lot of my work. I do a lot of other stuff, legal matters. I've got some cases in the public profile now, and I'm a correspondent for WindowsOnTheWorld.net as an investigative reporter, basically. That's in a hobby capacity, if you like,
Yeah.
but it's something that I'm interested in. They've picked up on it because they've read a lot of my work, a lot of my reports, and seen a lot of the videos.
Right.
And they just keep saying, trying to sort of slide this in front of me to consider getting a student loan and going for a thingy. But I'm like this about it because I want to do gardening and horticulture.
Right.
I think I'd be good at that, but
Yeah.
it doesn't strike me as something. I'd rather put the college time or the university time into this, because I'm also personally involved with growing plants anyway. I've got a built homemade hydroponic system from 2 litre bottles, and I can literally grow all my own plants indoor, fruit and vegetables.
Right.
Totally healthy to eat.
Yeah.
The actual yield that you get from them is twice as fast and twice the actual yield through doing it through hydroponics. So I'm also personally involved with that,
Yeah.
and I'm sort of using that as a link way into the gardening and horticulture. So that's how I got this course through you guys.
Yeah.
I got the ABC award. I'm 5 credits away from a level 1, and if I want, I could take that from 18 credits, which I'll have by just maybe 2-3 sessions. That's all it takes, just 2-3 classes just to top them 5 up. That's 18 credits, and if I want, I can take it to 37 credits and get a diploma. But I'm also looking at soft and hard landscaping. So the gardening thing that I've done, the gardening / horticulture course, leads in to the soft and hard landscaping. That pretty much means I can get a job anywhere, which Bradford's not too. It leads outwards for gardening, but
Yeah.
I'm basically building up to that. So I feel that I could, if I follow that through, I could get a stable job that meets both my skill set, which I'm building up to, and my availability. Obviously I've got kids every weekend from Friday evening onwards.
So there's a lot of retail jobs here, yeah?
Well, I realise I still have to do a search for retail because I have to be in compliance with the claimant commitment.
Right.
I added hot gardening and horticulture onto it
Yeah.
later on. It was
Yeah.
I think it was Anne that did the change for me.
Okay.
I do have previous skills in IT. Unfortunately, I don't have any qualifications, but I've got like 15 plus years experience in the field, but no qualifications. So if I get work, it would be self-employed sort of work, which I've done in between the gaps. But
Right.
applying for work is just not. First of all, there's not really any jobs that I can apply for in that field because they request certain qualifications, and I simply don't have them. It's not enough to be able to just apply for it. Do you have any qualifications? No, but I've got 15 years experience. So, and it's not really feasible because the actual work involved in that takes me too far out and requires too much qualification. So really, I don't know why it were included in claimant commitment. I can see why it was because I've got experience in it, but
Right, but
when I added gardening and horticulture on,
Yeah.
I wanted to take the IT off, so I was trying to replace it, and I was going
yeah,
to.
but your claimant commitment indicates that effectively there are no restrictions on the type of work that you should be applying for. You know, that is just an idea.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's the profile, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the profile. That does not constitute part of the claimant commitment, that page. It just gives us a pen picture of who you are
Yeah,
and what
well-
you're for. Yeah?
How was it?
So, really, you should be thinking about not just the retail and the gardening stuff. You should
Right,
be
this is
thinking of
this is my
anything.
this is my claimant commitment here.
Yeah.
My types of work. So I have agreed with my coach that I will be available for all types of work, and I will seek and apply for all types of work that give me the best prospects of securing employment. And the types of work, what is in there, isn't it? That's how the claimant commitment. This is how Sharon explained this to me when I first signed on. Is that not the case now? Just so I understand.
Well, the thing is, when we talk about giving yourself the best prospects of securing employment,
You apply for the stuff that you've got the experience in.
not necessarily, no. Because
Well, no,
you've got
'cause-
transferable skills. You've
Yeah,
got a load of skills here,
Which
you
I'm
know,
which I'm putting into the gardening and horticulture.
which are transferable.
Which
to
I'm-
other, so therefore, there
And I'm
is
doing
no
that,
limit
but
on that.
I can't transfer everything into everything else. I have to focus on a specific thing and transfer it into there, don't I? That's why I've added gardening and
No, you just
horticulture
need to
onto
be
it.
open-minded about
Oh, I'm
what you
open-minded.
can
I'm as open-minded as you
know
can
what
get.
I mean?
Take my word for it. I get you, yeah. I'm as open-minded as they come. Take my word for it.
that you've not necessarily done before. This is what this is implying.
Yeah.
But you've got the skill set for it.
Yeah.
Then you should be applying for it. You know.
Yeah.
You're an intelligent guy.
Well, if you've got any suggestions, fire away. I'm taking notes.
I mean?
Yeah, I do. I know what you mean.
You're quite articulate. You know, you've got a big skill set. Even what you're doing, like you say, this investigative stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's all adds weight to what you can actually do.
Yeah. Well, I do use it in interviews. When I get this interview on Wednesday, and you know, when I'm asked what it is I do, I'll tell her what it is I do. Based on what it is I do, I'll say this is what I do.
Careful if I were you about being too forward about it, because the thing is, it might scare people off.
Well,
as well. You know what I mean?
I can't anticipate everything, but some people, yeah, it does. Some people, it's stages of what is it?
Because I can imagine that somebody sitting.
First it's denial. First it's denial, and it's anger, and then it's acceptance. There is a process to it, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, but you come in here every time with a notepad, you write everything down.
Oh yeah.
In a sense.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Yeah.
That gets an idea that that's what you like.
Well, I am like that. I do take all my notes.
So, I'm not taking
they can think what they like. If I sit down there with notes and they use that as an excuse not to employ me, that's their bad.
Not be doing yourself any favours.
Well, I don't know. This is how I've always done it, and it's not like I've never been without a job. So somebody somewhere along the line has accepted it because I've had jobs. So it can be argued both ways. Lidl, 2012, and I applied for that despite the fact they were requesting Sardis, and I still got the job because of the way that I approached myself and my work. They liked that.
Yeah.
So it was usable for them. So if my availability is Monday to Friday up to 40 hours a week, and I clearly have a skill set that they can utilise.
I have a real issue about the retail stuff with not being available on Saturdays, because it is a restriction that you're imposing on employers that a lot of places are not going to accept. A hell of a lot.
That's debatable. I mean, I know what you're saying, but
it is debatable. I mean, you can debate it all
store and retail assistants, right? Generally, do a shift to operate the till, work the load, knick-knack jobs that need doing. Yet, supervisor can run a shift, not necessarily the actual store, which is down to the store manager and the deputy manager, between them. But I know loads of mothers and fathers who have kids and still hold a supervisor position in retail. Many.
Yeah, and there are many people that I know that are required to work Saturdays and Sundays.
They do say, but the way things are going, but things are changing. I think that might have been true at one time, but now I'm not so sure. But either way, I'm applying for all jobs that meet my availability and skill set.
This is why I think that you're missing a trick here somewhere. Because if you're applying for retail and you've got the ability to manage certain aspects of that, there's a lot of admin.
Well, I don't feel like I'm missing out, because
there are jobs out there that work Monday to Friday.
It's not like I'm stagnant though, is it, in a standstill? I am moving forward. I'm getting confirmations of job interviews. I've got confirmation that I can indeed take my certificates level 1 in April, which is only, where are we now? 17th of February.
Yeah.
So she says to contact her in the middle of March to make sure that I'm there for April, and she's already confirmed it will not be a problem. So she's going to take me on and slot me into her courses to get this extra certificate, which leads me into being able to apply for even more jobs and to have the skill set for it as well. It's not like I'm just applying for any random jobs. I'm applying what experience I've got, what qualifications I can prove I've got, and I'm doing the best out of what I've got.
I'd like to see a bit more in respect of other jobs that you have a
Fire, I've got my notepad here, which you
based for, that with transferable skills.
Well, you hit me with some suggestions.
Suit, your circumstances.
Well, hit me with the suggestions. I'll write them down on my notepad, taking notes which you say could scare people away.
Well,
you give me a suggestion. Well, but you're the one saying you've got suggestions, and how am I supposed to go away and consider them unless I write them down and take a note?
What about an admin role? Would you work in an office?
You mean like a place like this? I would consider an admin role, but it's just something I've never done in an office environment.
You can use a computer, can't you?
Yeah, I can use a computer.
Word, Excel. Excel.
It's been a while, but yeah, the
Yeah.
principles of spreadsheets,
Yeah.
formulas and stuff like that. Yeah, I understand the concept.
The thing is, you've got customer service skills and stuff like that.
Well,
I mean, you've got universities here, colleges. You know, there's got Bradford College, Leeds College, universities in the area. But you know, like for instance, I know there's a job on in Huddersfield at the moment, Huddersfield University. It's some kind of admin position, something to do with timetabling and stuff like that. You know, your skill base, your skill set, you know, might suit something like that. Generally Monday to Friday, 37 hours a week. Do you see where I'm coming from?
well, I can acknowledge where you're coming from. Yeah, but I can't. You know, there are 1,000 possibilities, and I'm trying to handle as much as I possibly can, as it is. So, if you've got any other suggestions, throw them in.
My concern is that you're applying for all these retail positions, and I would question this on the basis that how many of these jobs are expecting you to work on a Saturday? You know, even if it's 75%, you're putting all your efforts in to this, which might not.
Well, with all due respect, you haven't been through all that, and you don't know that, and you're claiming 75% of those jobs require I work Saturdays. So I'll put that down, but
I think it's a given. I think it's a given.
No,
in a retail position, tool station, they're open on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Do you know, I've been here since August. Why all of a sudden is somebody disputing the fact that I'm looking for retail work? All of a sudden.
I don't know. But you told me last time you're not available on Saturdays.
I've been telling you that since day dot, since I walked in here in August.
No, retail store, sales assistant, what's that, Monster UK, I don't know what
You've come down close, haven't you? Yeah, let me show you this. See, this is why I keep your notes, for these kinds of reasons. You're going to love this. Look at this. 11th of November, spoke to Anne. This was my 13-week review, 3 months after, roughly, of actually making a new claim. Availability come up. These are my notes for that day. Wow, I have just found out from Anne that not only does the system not show I have my children on weekends, this is halfway through, right? But as I told Sharon this from my first appointment in August 2013 that this was the case, Sharon has not reflected this in the availability. WTF? How can this be the case when I have stated until I am blue in the face from day one I have my children on weekends? Anne has now made these changes on the system and has told me it now shows on the system I have my children on weekends, and even printed me the availability so I could show this had been done. And that was my availability, and I knew, and Anne, Michelle, are telling me that I've never mentioned it until I saw you last week, and here it is here 3 months ago. Telling me about the appointment has arrived on the day that the appointment was due. Right, and it was a Saturday.
Right.
And the Jobcentre know that I've got kids on a Saturday, so there's been no due consideration there.
Right.
So there was that. That's the first complaint about this letter.
There's nowhere on your record before you saw Darrell that you've got children on a Saturday. It's not logged anywhere on your record, because I've been through your whole record this morning.
Since I made a claim in August, I've said until I'm blue in the face that I have children on the weekend, and it was Sharon, second floor, second to third desk on the right, who I saw consecutively on a weekly basis, who can confirm that indeed
and I can go see Sharon, because she's not logged it anywhere on the system.
Right.
So obviously this team were not aware.
Right. So there's been miscommunication there, hasn't there?
But your job seekers agreement actually says you're available for work on a Saturday.
No, it doesn't.
I'm sure it does.
I'm sure it doesn't, and when you find out and confirm that it does state I'm not,
I'll have a look.
That's going to be another example, because you said you were sure of that.
Yeah.
So I know you're not sure of it, because I know you're wrong.
It's the type. Sorry, I saw a different customer.
Availability.
It's availability.
Well, I'm not saying
So,
I told you, I picked up on it last time.
Well, right, so you've picked up on the fact that I'm not available for weekends.
But my concern
6
here
months.
is that you're putting all your energies into applying for all these jobs here. And I can guarantee
Are you honestly going to sit there and moan to me about applying for jobs?
I can guarantee you that you're not going to get more.
Are you honestly?
50%.
I might get a job on Wednesday through doing them applications. I've got a job interview on Wednesday. I hope I do, because I don't need to come back to this place.
But screw fix, tool station, and I don't know what the employers here, because you haven't listed the names of the employers. I know that Screwfix and Tool Station Saturdays and Sundays for sure. You're not gonna get a job.
That's not what I've heard.
Tool Station and Screwfix work Saturdays and Sundays. They do. They do. I've been there on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I buy stuff from.
But that doesn't mean they won't employ somebody Monday to Friday. I know that because I've had I had this conversation with a job that were given me 3 or 4 weeks ago by one of my caseworkers in Avanta.
I think that you're...
So you're saying one thing and she's saying another?
To be honest, I think you're a bit deluded. I think that you're...
So you're saying one thing and she's saying another?
To be honest, I think you're a bit deluded.
You think I'm deluded?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I just think you're not facing the real reality.
Right. You tell me what the reality is.
Retail positions.
Retail
require
positions.
you to work Saturdays and Sundays.
No, they don't.
Majority of them. They do.
Don't.
Prove it to me.
Alright, I got a job in 2012 by Lidl, 2013, who requested weekends. I got the job. My record shows you can do it. You're saying otherwise. So
years ago, retail's changing all the time.
It's dead. It's changing to the point of death. That's why I'm going to the garden and horticulture side.
Just stand there.
Yeah.
Copy of that.
Please do.
I think you need to open yourself up to other opportunities, like I said, colleges.
Well, I've told you, Darrell, I've got my notepad in front of me. If you throw any suggestions, I will consider them. That's why my notepad is in front of you.
What about you? What about you? You know, what can you come up with that's different?
Well, I'm throwing everything I've got here now, and I'm asking for any further suggestions you may have. You're the one seem to be saying that what I'm doing isn't entirely, you know, could be better or whatever it is you're saying, but ultimately you're a work coach and there's 2 ways that you can shine in this place. It's either help people get a job or meet your targets for referrals for sanctions, or DMA as it's referred to in here.
Targets for sanctions.
Yes, you do.
DMA,
I know for a fact, I've been made aware that there are at least 6 people now coming in here with new claims, right? 2 of them are ex-Jobcentre employees, 1 of them worked in the appeals department for the sole purpose of investigating this place, because they know damn well that you've got targets for sanctions on a weekly basis, which is done within the team. So it's like a competition within the team. It goes to the floor, goes to the building. It's even done regionally, and we've got actual documentations, affidavits from at least two whistleblowers from the Jobcentre.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily this one.
Who's
that
we?
Well, you'll find out when I issue the noticing for that. That's coming shortly. Because I've got my case is being made at this moment. No, you will understand. I give you my word. You will understand.
Okay. So
Are we good for now?
yeah, that's it. That's all I can do, because I just don't think you're listening to me.
Well,
You expect me to come up with solutions. I'm not here to get...
I'm here right now,
Oh yeah.
listening to you, ready to write down any suggestions you have. And
I've given you
and at the
some
same time
suggestions.
saying I'm not listening. Yeah, I'm here listening, ready to take your suggestions down. On my notepad right here, I will include it in my job search. I will consider those suggestions. I will absolutely consider those
Have you written
suggestions.
something down about transferable skills?
Transferable skills with what? I'm transferring my skills into gardening and horticulture. That's one thing I'm doing.
Okay.
So what else?
You're not taking it on board what I'm saying.
if you explain what you're saying,
one thing and you're taking it down a different direction
well,
completely.
it's my life. I'm in control. You're there to help me, and you're actually to do what, you know. You're there to help me.
I'm
You're
not getting through to you.
But you're not there to dictate to me. You're there to work with me, and you're not doing that because I think you shine in this place. You personally, this is just my opinion. My impression with you is that you shine in this place by meeting your targets for referrals for sanction. That's how you.
Just, I'm finished with you. I'm finished with you.
Have you put me? Yeah. Have you put my payment through on the system?
No, I haven't.
You haven't. Are you going to?
Not yet. I'm going to do it in a minute. Yeah.
Right. And have you got any claims or suspicions you want to raise with me that I should know about today before I leave?
I just don't think you put your energies in the right direction, to be honest.
Well,
with the,
at the minute that's just opinion, isn't it? But that's your opinion.
That's just opinion, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't count for hope because you don't believe me.
Well, if you give me good reasoning behind it, maybe. But so far I've not.
Oh, the other thing what I'd like you to do really is on your job search.
Yeah.
Is list the employer's name. Yeah. So on that job search there, you've listed retail assistant, and the website. I don't know what jobs you've applied for.
Right. You see these notes here? These notes are copied directly out of the Universal Job Match. So if you want to give me I'll give you an example now. 13078239 Jobs for Network Limited, retail assistant, and the email that I used to apply for the application. So that actually does say indeed retail assistant, but it says Jobs for Network Limited. It's telling you, I'm telling you what Universal Job Search told me.
You've used Reed and other websites, haven't you?
Sorry? Yeah, reading. Well, that's in mistake.
Out of all this lot here, I've seen 2 jobs. I think Screwfix and on the Yorkshire Building Society there, and I saw Tool Station. That the majority of these, I know that sometimes it takes you to a different website, like the CV Library generally does.
They all refer you to a different website.
Right.
Universal Job Match is a joke to me, but
is it not on that website what the job is?
If you look at
the employer is.
Where is it?
I know I've done it, and it does tell you.
If you look at paragraph 3 of my job seeker statement, it will actually list some of the job search, some of the websites that I use in addition to the Universal Job Match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you go to CV Library, does it not tell you the job that you apply for?
Well, yeah, I've wrote that down, haven't I? Which one? Well, you mean when it refers you to like Read or Indeed, does it tell you? No, it doesn't say any more than what the actual Universal Job Match tells you. It just says that your application has been referred to the client, basically. It's all done through, it's like the proxy in it, it's like an agency. It's like when you apply for a home or a house and you go through an agency. It's kind of like that, it's a proxy. That's what it is. So I've written down all the available information. So I can't write anything that it doesn't tell me. Normally, you usually find that out once the employer contacts you if they want to consider you for a job interview, don't they? But all the information is there. Are we good?
Yeah.
That's the Vol one. Excellent. I'll get that back to you as soon as I get more details on it.
Okay.
Right, cheers, Darrell. Catch you later.